A Roman civil war has erupted, and now Augustus and Mark Antony decide to fight to the bitter end to decide who will control the glory of Rome. Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to another Total War Rome 2 online battle. Today we are diving into this awesome scenario battle sent in to me by one of you guys, so thank you so goddamn much for this. I know you spent a lot of time working on this replay, so a big shout out to everyone who played in this battle. And if you guys want to be a part of these battles in the future, he went ahead and linked me a Discord, which I'll leave down below in the description. Basically, he's looking for more people to create fun and interesting scenarios. So if you're a half decent Rome 2 player, you want to see yourself on the channel and you want to be a part of these cool battle replays, or you just want to find more people to play with, then go ahead and join the Discord. As I said, the link will be down below in the description for him. And if anyone else who does have a group of friends and you have your own Discord where you play Rome 2, if you send me in a replay, give me your Discord, I'll be more than happy to go ahead and advertise it on the battle replay you sent in, because that way you guys get more players, you can go ahead and create more awesome battles, which means we get cooler stuff on the channel. So yes, this is going to be a very exciting one because we have a very awesome setup. As I said, 3 Mark Antony armies, which do look very, very scary. A lot of these armored legionaries, as you can see, the eagles standing firm. You also have a lot of auxiliary Cretan archers, obviously Mark Antony controlling the majority of Egypt with Cleopatra. He gets access to some really, really good mercenaries in his roster, and that's going to obviously be very deadly in this battlefield. So they've set up in a pretty offensive way, trying to surround the city completely. Again, this might not be the most competitive thing to do, but again, this is a scenario battle. In these scenario battles, they kind of take competitive edges, and they also do this for fun. So it's kind of like 50-50, which I think is, yeah, always my preferable way of watching a battle replay. Then for the defenders, we do have Augustus's Rome right here, trying to keep hold of the stronghold in Italy, and he is supported by the Dacians, which is always a good addition to the army. And the Dacians should really provide that hard-hitting infantry that the Romans don't really have. Obviously, the Romans have hard-hitting infantry, but what I mean is more about shock infantry that can come in the flank and just completely devastate. Also, they're a lot more maneuverable than the Romans, so they can quickly kind of address any gaps that do appear in the settlement. I also do really love this settlement as well. Me and the Republic of Play had an amazing head-to-head battle on this from our live stream. It was absolutely insane. It was such a cool battle. So I've always got a sweet spot in my heart for this. And as we're seeing, we are seeing the Dacians throw out some cavalry, some noble horse looking to try and harass the auxiliary Syrian archers here. Again, yeah, oh my god, they have some really good missiles in Antony's Rome. They have these Syrian archers and they have Cretan archers. That's insane. These Syrian archers have really high armor, so they can kind of take a pounding from enemy missile fire, which is really deadly. Does seem like the Dacians, though, are going to be worn off, and Antony's Praetorian cavalry is going to come in again just to protect this. Does seem a little bit vulnerable, but again, this is what the Dacians are all about, and they can really go ahead and seize the opportunity against these kind of smaller groups. As I said, but they've gone ahead and split up their armies, sent some in over here, kind of just to make sure to put as much pressure on the defenders as possible. We are seeing a few more men, though, in the forest, which I didn't see, obviously. They're just coming into view for me as well, so they're obviously a lot more protected, but this is what this attack is supposed to do. It's supposed to kind of push out and just cause disruption in the attacking battle line. We've seen in plenty of previous battles how strong an attacking defender can be, and how much it can disrupt the attackers actually coming in. It completely disrupts who's coming in at what time, and it gives the defenders a lot more leeway to work with. And even just kind of scaring off the enemy units is a really good plan. It seems like we're going to get our first engagement right there as the Dacian cavalry come flying in against the Praetorian horse. And hopefully we'll see some more Dacian cavalry coming immediately round this side and trying to hit them. But it does seem like the Praetorian cavalry are getting the hell out of there and trying to quickly fall back. Obviously going to be taking heavy casualties there, already losing 14 riders. And I'm sure plenty more will be in to come. The Syrian archers are getting pretty close, obviously just trying to get some extra shots off, but they're going to quickly be reinforced by the armored legionaries. And again, that's going to scare off the Dacian cavalry. The Roman forces, I think, are protecting every single entryway into this settlement, and they also have a pretty nice onager here as well from Dacia, which can really bombard any of the attackers. They've got some pretty good auxiliary Gallic hunters, so these guys have the snipe ability. They can stay hidden and shoot. And we also have some really cool burning balls that can come down here when this position is lost. One of the hard things the attackers are going to find, though, definitely is going to be the Romans just being so tanky when it comes to missile fire. Them Syrian archers are going to be great, but if the Romans are in testudo, it's going to be pretty difficult for them to really find their mark. And I think that's exactly why we're seeing the Scorpion being brought up. It's a pretty good pick in a siege battle like this, where it's an unfortified town. As you know, these Scorpions can really rack up some kills, and you know, at the moment they are just hitting heavily against this Roman legionary cohort, which doesn't actually seem like it's lost a man yet. There you go. Actually, no, they're still fine. Wow, I don't expect these guys to go down, as I saw that Scorpion shooting for a little while, but the Romans are just, you know, just still chilling, holding up that position. You've got some cavalry moving up, as well as the noble horse, I guess, decided to try and push out. I don't think they're really going to be able to get on here, as it does seem like Antony's Rome is quite quick at, you know, reacting to these things. The archers do get a couple shots off as well. Again, this could be a suicide mission, though, because if he did manage to kill this, that'd be pretty brutal. And I think they are going off on that suicide mission, and they're going to get a really nice charge in there. Looking like they're probably going to end up killing the archers and maybe getting a nice kill on the Roman Scorpion. I don't think they're going to be able to do it, though. This was definitely a charge at the guns, Napoleonic style, just looking to go ahead and blow them up and then retreat back. These guys definitely didn't stand a chance. But killing a unit of archers this early on is very good. Obviously, this unit of noble horse is very, very expensive, but sometimes you've got to make these sacrifices for the greater good. Oh my god! The Roman peeler coming in. And that's also something that is pretty important. Like, this unit did get slaughtered, don't get me wrong, but they did throw their peeler, they did use other stuff, like, you know, it's these little things that really add up. And it seems like we've got a bit of an engagement right there as the Praetorian Guard break through these barricades that are set up and charge onto the spear warriors. It seems like they're going to pull back and probably throw their peeler. So this is already shaping up to be a really good battle. Again, you can definitely notice when players are pretty decent at Rome 2, because they do kind of small things like this. They use their ammunition before charging in, softening up the enemy. And I always love to see it, you know, when I get a really cool scenario battle with really good players. It always makes for a very kind of the best of both worlds, as it were. Oh, wow. Yeah, you can get through here, can't you? And I think the Romans have just quickly noticed it. Yeah, these players are reacting extremely quickly to one another. It does seem like you can move through this. And this is something I really love in Total War in general. It's just kind of like siege maps like this that offer you like really weird avenues to attack in siege battles. You know, especially these unfortified towns, where you just don't need to have choke point after choke point after choke point. You know, it's an unfortified town. It's not supposed to be defensible. And when you have like these kind of alleyways and paths, it just kind of makes a battle a lot more interesting. Look at that as Antony and the Romans really clash against one another. It's pretty cool. Both sides are really going in. Definitely did not just take a screenshot there, as you can see. So if we take a look at the overall settlement, again, I've been doing this a lot more. Do let me know in the comments down below, guys, if you do want to see more stuff like this, where I do kind of take more of the strategic view, especially in a large map like this, where it's kind of hard to see everything that's going on. It's kind of good to kind of do this every so often, just so you can get a good glimpse of what is actually going on in the battle. So you can see Antony's southern attack has now fully kicked off with some engagements. We've got some Scorpions brought up as well to soften up the gladiator infantry on that front line. You can see these gladiators down to 87 men. In the north, though, in the northeast, we are seeing the assault actually kicking off now with some armoured legionaries being brought in. But for the most part, they are kind of a little bit underwhelmed. Also, who's going to win this? This is what, armoured legionary versus armoured legionary? It seems like, I don't know if they got a better peeler through or what, but it does seem like Augustus's legionaries are doing a very nice job at winning this kind of one-on-one in the engagement. You got some auxiliary Gallic hunters being brought up, and I think they're going to be trying to focus down the Roman Scorpions because they're probably a little bit close. Or maybe they're going to try and hit this. I'm not too sure. It does seem like Antony, though, has brought up these Cretan archers, and he's going to be shooting away at these Romans in the back to try and even things up, as this battle does look like it's going a little bit south for him. And these archers should definitely help out somewhat. These guys are just waiting to throw that peeler until there's no friendly units in front of them. Oh, yeah, the arrow fire. Both sides are bombarding this with missile fire. Wouldn't be surprised to see these guys turn to face the oncoming missiles and then form that testudo. Took the words out of my mouth. We do have some auxiliary Thracian warriors engaged in this battle. Wow, these factions are actually really, really cool. And it's definitely nice as well to get a battle replay on these DLCs. Because again, there's a lot of these units. I quite did like one playthrough on these DLCs and never played them again. And everyone just does heavily focus on the base game. So it's quite cool to see these DLC battles. And if you guys want to see more of them, do let me know in the comments down below. Because, you know, there's a lot of DLCs out there, all with interesting rosters, right? Because, you know, Rome and Vanilla don't get access to auxiliary Thracian warriors and stuff like that. So it kind of just makes the rosters pretty interesting as well. How are we doing on the north side, or the southern side of the battle, I should say? It seems like Antony's Rome are doing a pretty decent job of breaking through the defensive line. The legionary cohorts are dwindling pretty heavily. However, the Dacians are going to come in now and really help out in that fight, seeing what they can do to the best of their ability. We have some cavalry moving around as well. I assume the next Roman line is going to be pushed up. It does seem like these auxiliary coastal levies moved up to take that initial peeler throw. Again, really nice play there. Oh, that cavalry charge is coming in from the back. What the hell is going on here with this unit of veteran legionaries? Why are they turned all around? Oh man, that was a massacre. They're going to use so many men, and now the Roman infantry is going to come in as well. The Praetorians advancing in. They must, because again, I do definitely feel their pain right there. Because too often, especially when you're playing a battle like this, it's extremely hard to tell if you've got this unit turned around or not. Because you're looking at the battle like this and you're like, oh, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that. And then all of a sudden you kind of look down and then you're like, oh crap, these guys are actually facing the wrong way. But you do see Antony's Rome coming in and really making a pretty big impact. We do have some mercenary Celtic warriors advancing up, and these guys have a handful of javelins to lob off at the Praetorian Guard, which is one of the better ways to definitely kill them. It's just by throwing javelins at them to the best of the ability. We also have a pretty nice firing arc here from the auxiliary Gallic Hunters. It does seem like they're holding their ammunition though. Maybe going to be focused down this Roman Scorpion as it gets brought up an inch closer. Yeah, immediately the Archer Fire is looking to kill these guys, as they do die very quickly to missile fire. And these are just annoying more than anything else. They don't do crazy damage. They just slowly chip away at your units and at your front line. And it's just annoying more than anything else. And they can do a lot of damage if you give them the ability to do so. It does seem like this is a real point of contention in the battle, as we do see both Antony and the Dacians looking to reinforce this as quickly as possible. That javelin throw doing a lot of damage to the 25 brave legionary cohorts who are still left remaining, looking to take that eagle and bring it back to the glorious Roman city. Both sides holding and really throwing against their Roman firepower. It's always very interesting, you know, because obviously both these factions are pretty similar, but I'm pretty sure in the DLC they do have some very, very interesting setups. We're going to see peeler throw, or these peeler throws are already gone. I think a lot of this peeler, oh no, there you go. Peeler going to be going out for both sides. The nice thing is, this Augustus unit actually managed to get their peeler off throat first. So they might have killed 1 or 2 guys in that first peeler throw, which means if they kill 1 guy, which means there's 1 less peeler coming back at them. So that can be all the difference, right? Now a peeler throw going off, both sides exchanging missile blows. Who came out on top of that? So 16, 15. Oh wow, okay, all right. The armored legionary is actually racking up a nice amount of kills. Do they have another peeler throw? Does Augustus? Does Mark Antony's? I know, they just had 1 or 2 spells. I was going to say, does Mark Antony's have an extra peeler? That'd be absolutely wild. There definitely is different variations of these guys. Yeah, holy crap. Oh, these are Praetorian Guard, no wonder. I was going to say, holy crap, they're a lot stronger. Are these both armored legionaries? So, 58, 58. Are they just the same stats? Okay, it looks like they're actually the same. Okay, no, these guys have less armor. So Augustus's legionaries are just better? Yeah, it just seemed like they have a bit more, 95 armor, whereas these guys have, oh, they have 95 armor as well. Okay, I'm an idiot. Yeah, it does seem like the units are pretty similar then, which is kind of a sad thing in the DLC. Like, they really should have kind of just specialized each faction to be, you know, a little bit different. It would have been a lot cooler. But, oh, anyway, back to the battle itself. We are seeing some brave mercenary Celtic warriors charging forward against the Praetorian Guard. Probably not going to fare too well. That heavy armor the Praetorian Guard do bear is going to be, yeah, plenty strong enough to repel a lot of the blows coming in from these Celtic warriors. And you can see they are slowly grinding away at them with these huge shields. more reinforcements are being thrown in. Another charge coming in as these sides continue to fight on and on. Because the defenders are very much spreading out their formation, it's going to definitely come down to a couple breaches for the attackers. They just need to try and push through in a few of these places, which maybe are a little bit less defended. It's going to be very interesting to see where they choose to really get stuck in. We do have some amazing missile fire coming in here as well. Some auxiliary Cretan archers really focusing down this big blob. I imagine they'll be shooting the gladiators as much as they can, because these gladiators have next to no armor, which means they have 10 armor, which just means they melt to missile fire. And yeah, there's barely any of them left now. Even Praetorian Guard are taking a handful of casualties. As their testudo does start to lose men, it becomes a lot weaker, and this arrow fire does find its mark. And yeah, this archer fire, I mean, Antony's using that strength for his auxiliaries, right? The Cretan archers, the Armenian or the Syrian archers are really doing serious damage. Actually able to break a full unit of Praetorian Guard. Oh my god, and that peeler throw as well, really softening up the attackers. That is just brutal for the defenders. And now the legionaries are going to continue to advance forward. Maybe another peeler throw going to be charged off very soon. Testudos, I think, are breaking. Yeah, the Testudos are breaking now, so they can get their peeler throw back off. That man is annoying. The peeler throw being lobbed off now as the brave gladiators go charging in. You definitely need to utilize the fact that the gladiators themselves aren't very tanky. They just need to get into a flank of the unit and they will decimate it. These guys got any peeler throws left? Are they going to lob some off? Seems like they're just going to try and break through their own stakes and, yeah, engage the enemy legionaries, which I think is definitely the smarter move to do, as there's a lot of missile fire here, and it seems like the defending missiles are a lot more segregated elsewhere. Does seem like a unit of this Praetorian cavalry has been pinned down a little bit. They'll be able to fall back, I imagine, pretty soon as they realise. Maybe Augustus can cut them off, and that's exactly what he's doing. A nice little move right there to go ahead and pin this unit in place, and now the legionaries can continue to move up. We do have reinforcements, though, falling back from this position, looking to try and put more pressure on this, and this could be a great opportunity to break up here and kind of take the city centre. In this battle. In these unfortified town battles, you don't win by taking the city center. You just get a big morale buff and you take away the enemy morale buff from holding it. So it's not imperative that they do hold this upper hill. Obviously, it's, you know, a pretty fortified town. But right now, Antony could quite quickly abuse this position right now. There's two very easy accesses into this place, and they could definitely push forward and try and utilize that. Also, it seems like this entire area has been broken up very, very heavily, and you know, if they just reinforce these two positions right here, I think we'll see the entirety of Augustus's front line have to fall back and get ready to deal with this, because yeah, the attackers are pushing in. Obviously, Augustus is having a much better time of it over in the south here. He's really pushing them back and pinning down a lot of the enemy cavalry as well, which, when these streets start to open up, is going to be pretty decent. There's a beautiful throw there by Antony's missiles, and Romans look to clash once again. And there you go. It seems like the camera is taking me. I'm not doing anything. God damn, I don't even have to do my job by moving the camera. I can just let the Rome to engine poorly show you guys what is going on and zip around and give you guys whiplash. So again, we'll take a nice little overview of the battlefield, and you can really see that, you know, these areas are going down. And we actually do see a unit of Antony's infantry pushing around here. However, they are going to be getting hit by the Eagle cohort. That's going to be lobbed in, and that's going to be enough to break the Praetorian cavalry that did try and break its way through. Not a bad decision to try and do that, because if you could get a rear charge here, that would be pretty nice. There can only be one. That is very, very true. Only one Roman leader, indeed. Oh, God, no. Oh, the Legatus, man. I think at split seconds, they've managed to catch each other off guard, but they do realize that, and the charge does not go unanswered. However, a nice little, you know, spearhead move there by the Augustus' Praetorian cavalry, trying to kill the enemy general, which would be obviously pretty goddamn severe. The Roman general is also moving up for Augustus. trying to reinform. Sorry, I keep on saying Roman general, and obviously they're both Roman. So I need to keep on saying Augustus and Mark Antony. We do see some legionary cavalry though moving around, and they don't get the time to charge into the rear. I think they were immediately looking to come round and try and break up Augustus's Praetorian Guard here. However, the Dacians are not going to let them do that, and they're going to quickly answer and charge in. And again, you know, this is mostly shock cavalry, the noble horsemen. So the Romans did manage to pin them down, and they should really dominate this area in a prolonged combat due to their heavy armor and better melee stats. Obviously, having that shield as well is pretty goddamn big. However, whilst that unit is being held in place, we are seeing another legionary cavalry unit move around, and where is it exactly looking to go? As it does seem like the defenders are falling back now. The Dacians, along with the rest of Antony's, or the rest of Augustus, is moving around, and I think that's definitely a smart move. Fall back to the city centre as best as you can, as we are seeing units getting enveloped now and broken back. I say that for the most part, though, they're doing an okay job on this side. They're definitely trading pretty nicely. However, the breaks are coming in, and this entire unit is now going to be running for their lives, and I really hope we get to see these burning balls. Also, they really need to defend this southern side of the position right here, because there's not really a lot left for them whatsoever, and there's a lot of infantry scattered throughout the battlefield as well. We see a couple more Romans here as well, trying to hold the line, but they're just getting overrun by the heavier infantry. And now the city centre is going to be very vulnerable. Please set these burning balls alight. Please. Yes. Let's go. Burn them. No. These are all going in the wrong direction. Come on. Yes. Okay, now we're talking. Come on, speed up. God, the speed is so goddamn slow. No, come on. That's such a disappointment. I think you need to, like, get in position before doing it. Oh, my God. Burning balls always goddamn disappoint me. We are seeing the Praetorians are engaging against noble swords, so this is what we're talking about. And now, all of a sudden, they're going to be pretty vulnerable, right? Getting shot in the back by these auxiliary Gallic hunters. We're having the rest of the Dacian forces. And they've used the whip as well, so they're going to be exhausted. These Praetorians are going to get slaughtered. I was really thinking that this battle was going to be over pretty soon, but, you know, by getting yourself surrounded like this is definitely going to give the attackers a little bit more. Obviously, they can turn and kind of engage with Dacian noble sword general. That's going to be pretty, you know, difficult to really come out from top there, because obviously these are fresh men. They're actually very a bit tired, but still. And you got a missile fire coming in from the Gallic hunters as well. Yeah, these guys, it's going to really slow up Antony's advance unless he can win these battles out here and move down. And we do actually have one of Augustus' generals fighting heavy on the ground. And that's quite cool as well. We do have infantry generals. Again, I do preach about this quite a lot. I think having infantry generals in a siege is pretty decent for both sides. And it's quite cool to see as well, like having, like, you know, maybe in a free verse 3, having like 2 infantry generals and one cavalry general. So it's kind of more like you have your commanders on the ground, and then you have your cavalry commander kind of leading everything. It's kind of, again, kind of quite fitting for these more scenario battles more than anything else. But this battle has definitely proven that even though it is a scenario battle, you can't have competitive, you can still have very competitive and good players really showing and fighting back and forth. Because, yeah, these players have been doing great stuff, great maneuvers, and I think it's been a very awesome battle. So if we take a look at the overall side, it does seem like Antony has been pushed back here in the north. Basically, yeah, he has nothing left here, and he only really has his southern advance. That's basically about it. And particularly with balance of power, we can see it is slightly in favor of Antony, but not really that heavily. And right now, Antony's going to be seizing this advantage just to basically start getting some shots off. Really pick away at the Dacians, who are obviously very lightly armored. But Romans are probably more than happy to have this happen. Romans don't mind the fact that, you know, Antony is using his missiles. Actually, no, it doesn't seem like he is using it on the Dacians. It seems like he's using it on that Roman cohort unit up there. We're going to have to see as well if Antony can... yeah, he is sending more men round. He's actually sending men round the flank here to shoot the Romans in the side before engaging. Again, a very nice move. Yeah, we're going to have to see if Antony can reinforce this other side to really push up. Because you want to be... Because obviously these are just 2 choke points now. You really want to put pressure on that. The Romans are just exchanging missiles. The ballista is now up as well. Did these Onager crew get many kills out of interest? 228, that's not bad. It does seem like a lot of missile fire is coming in, though, on these archers. Yeah, it basically seems like all the defensive missiles are now just looking to slaughter these Cretans, and they're definitely going to get slaughtered. They are dropping like flies in this battle. Syrian archers, yeah, just being picked down. There's a lot of missiles up here, and they have the high ground, and half of these guys are staying hidden. You definitely, yeah, it's going to really, really hurt there. Antony has only really sent a small contingent of his infantry over to the side, which might definitely come back to bite him. Yeah, as the Dacians come down, they can definitely just use their numbers to completely envelop, and because they've got this kind of section of the battlefield so well defended, you know, just having 2 legionaries holding this, they can really kind of shift their weight of infantry like they've done over here to try and stamp out this assault, and then they can focus everything down. You know, it's definitely a Sun Tzu move, right? Is you attack where they are weak and you defend where they are strong. And, you know, they're kind of splitting up their forces. They're sending, you know, 200 men against 1,000, and then they're taking their 800 against the enemy's, you know, 500 or whatever. And they can use these numbers to envelop the enemy positions, rout them a lot quicker, and then whilst, you know, and just have to hope that these defensive positions can hold. However, Antony is seizing this, and he's going to be throwing forward his gladiators, which are going to, oh my god, mince through the auxiliary Gallic hunters. Look at their casualties. They just lost like 20 men on that charge. That is insane for Vanilla Rome 2. Oh my god, they just got demolished. They did not stand a chance. Even the armoured legionaries took a handful of casualties on that charge. It just goes to show the prowess of the gladiators as such an amazing shock infantry unit. And now the last couple of reserves, even the veteran legionaries being pushed up. There are definitely gaps to exploit as well. If the players see it, they can quite easily try and push their way through this gap right here. And it does seem like that's exactly what the Roman general is going to do. Is just try and break through this, you know, gaping hole in the enemy position. And again, the Dacians are going to struggle. And this is one of the problems with doing this, is you leave yourself very, very vulnerable to being counter-attacked elsewhere. But it does seem like the gamble did pay off, as Antony's forces are now completely enveloped, without anywhere to go. And now the Dacians can use their speed to quickly maneuver through the streets and get over to the other fight from a different angle. You can see the last of the Praetorian Guard fighting bravely, however, falling to the noble swords of Dacia. Breaking them down. Quick question, quick history question for you guys out there. Did Rome ever conquer Dacia, like, fully? I know that Dacia was Rome's bloodiest conflict, but did they, like, peace out with them? I don't actually know how their conflicts ended. Yeah, the Dacian Wars were the bloodiest conflicts Rome ever saw. It was pretty insane. Did they take some of the territory? Did they just peace out? Did they make Dacia become a tributary? Or did they just kind of give up on the Dacian territory? Let me know in the comments down below, as it's always great to learn some history. That's pretty nice. The sun coming through the trees, glaring off the armor. The Romans try and push through here. Well, Antony tries to push through, but I just don't think he has enough now at this point. You are seeing his forces just trying to cut their way through. However, the Dacians... Oh, actually, I say that, actually. Antony has a lot of reserves, and he basically threw back the Dacians, who were going to come around, and I assume these guys were out of vision, and quickly came in. Burning balls? Some burning balls? Didn't really do much, though, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, if these fights are looking pretty sour, they could just set these burning balls ablaze and they'd just rip through both of their friendly units, but they'd kill a lot more of these Praetorians, which would definitely be worth it. So Romans are just trying to find their mark there. And we are basically set up in a position where it's going to be just a kind of a bit of a grind towards the end of the battle. We can triple speed it for a bit now, as I don't think there's too much to watch. The Romans are trying to reinforce. Did they set them burning balls ablaze? I don't think I saw them. Where did they go? Looks like they're charging. Wait, did I miss? No, I can't have. It's like they've like disappeared though. We do see Antony's infantry being broken there as well. The general unit, the advanced general, being brought down just to the weight of numbers from the Romans, from Augustus' Romans, really destroying wave after wave of these elite infantry in. But again, you know, the Dacians have reinforced now. They've managed to retreat back. But Augustus now does have his infantry, so now will be the perfect time to commit these Dacians. And actually, I was going to say that these guys actually did send their forces all the way around. So these Dacians are going to be put under a lot of pressure. And Augustus is running out of men. Like, he is sending the Romans, he's sending Antony back. But, you know, Antony has a lot of men still in reserve. Like, a surprisingly large amount of men. It was actually very deceptive. As these are 2 full-strength units, we have a fresh general unit there. We have some cavalry that could break through. And Augustus has barely any men left. Basically, everything he has is committed, and gladiators are coming in as well. You can see these fierce warriors using their, you know, prowess on the battlefield to really just kind of do damage and definitely cut down these lighter Dacian infantry. The Romans are probably winning in more of a prolonged fight, but that initial kind of burst is definitely doing damage. Obviously, we're also seeing Antony push up here as well now, and now he can actually more, like, better use his legionary. Oh, these are actually auxiliary coastal levies, okay. And then we'll see the Praetorian Guard come up here. Praetorian Guard, though, doing a very nice move there. So big, nice move there by the attacker. Utilizing that kind of flank here, he moved his unit off to the side so he can get more javelins in on these noble swords. And I think the player actually realizes that, and he pulls back a little bit so he doesn't get shot as heavily in the side. And he didn't even throw his second volley there as well, which again is a nice move. But I think this assault could definitely break through this position. You can see the last kind of, yeah, everyone has committed all of their pieces now to this battle. This Scorpion has racked up, again, only 82 kills, but at this point in the battle, that is a big ask. You know, every kill really matters. A rally being thrown off. Augustus throwing off his last rally. And Antony's men are exhausted. They are really going in. Yeah, everyone is just pushing everything. Everyone's going to be exhausted. And they're just going to go in for one last back. Because both sides are very low. Look at that. Like, the entire Dacian army could break. And Antony's entire front line could also break. So, really, really anything could happen in this battle. It's going to be super close. You can see the balance of power is mega even. I think it really comes down to whether or not the Dacians will break, because it seems like the Romans are going to hold. And you can see the last push up there. Raise the banners, which gives, I think, a pretty good melee defense aura buff as well. However, we are losing men. Antony himself, I like to think, is leading the infantry forward to reinforce. And he just needs these other guys to stick around. However, we are seeing a bit of a pull through here. I think, actually, no, it's just a reform there by the Praetorian Guard. And this is an all or nothing move. I mean, literally anything could happen here. We could quite easily see these Dacians break. However, we do have one of the generals being brought in. And noble swords against Praetorian Guard is going to be a very dangerous fight. And again, all you have to think is, like, if a general dies as well, that could send shockwaves. If Antony dies, then all of a sudden his legionaries are not going to stick around at this point in the battle. It's going to be over. We're even seeing cavalry being thrown in now. This is an all-or-nothing play. Unfortunately, though, the morale is dipping, and I think the defenders might just have this. He says defenders never win. Well, they might not. As you can see, Antony is really diving through the siege equipment. So with superior numbers breaking through, taking casualties by doing this, but really diving in. I think we're going to have to see this last unit of elite Romans really thrown in. I think even some of these javelins are doing some pretty deadly damage. A nice rally, an important rally there. And this flank might crumble in the end of it. Just, you know, Praetorian Guard down to 61 men. I think the defenders have this, but honestly, I really don't know. We've only 2 minutes and 41 seconds left. All it takes is a break or a general being slain to really turn the tide of this engagement. And we'll honestly have to see who has the sheer willpower. Who wants to be the leader of Rome? That's what it comes down to at this point. It's whose men want it more. Only what is necessary for the glory of Rome, indeed. It does seem like Augustus is going to be victorious over in this northern side of the battle, which means he's going to basically be able to reinforce his men down here to the south now that unit breaks, and I think that's going to be enough. Even if the Dacians are breaking, okay, hold the goddamn phone. Hold the goddamn phone. Okay, it's not over yet. I was way too preemptive there, and I apologize. We just saw the entire Dacian army down here to the south break, and quite quickly the Romans are getting enveloped. However, oh god, and Antony just does not have enough men though. He's down to 99 men. He literally has 99 men there, 18 on the Scorpion crew, and with everyone else reinforcing, this is going to be his last stand, and I think Augustus is going to claim his rightful place as leader and dictator of Rome. Yeah, the rest of the Dacians are coming in. Turn this one tide, and yeah, the battle is going to be over right there. But oh my god, what an intense battle. But it really came down to the last couple of men. Really awesome stuff. And guys, if you enjoyed this battle, I always say this when it is a very, very fun and exciting battle, make sure you drop a like and a comment down below. Yeah, it really helps the channel out, and it really helps get these more kind of like special scenario battles out there to more people. And there you go, Augustus does claim a victory in this one and pushes back Antony's Rome to the abyss. Kills anything too crazy. Some nice kills on the noble swords. Over 200 there. The Roman legionaries right here. Doing pretty decent. 140 kills. Anything crazy along these lines. 240 again. Anything over 200 is pretty goddamn impressive. And same over here. The Scorpions, 89 kills. And 100 kills there. Gladiators, 144. And Praetorians with over 200. Almost 300 kills on these guys. That's a lot of damage. You can really see the JR's forces do a lot of damage, whereas the rest of Antony's kind of just all do similar amounts, I guess, realistically. Yeah, so Praetorian Guard did a serious amount of damage. They really, really did. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. As I said, if you want to be a part of these battles, join my Discord down below. Consider supporting me on Patreon if you want to help support the channel, or becoming a channel member. Drop a like and a comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell notification. Oh my god, there's so many things to list. And I'll see you guys in the next one.